Happy Wednesday and welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Metro Icon Podcast. And if this is your first time to the show, welcome to the show, man. We appreciate you come checking us out. We try to release these episodes every single Wednesday. Mine last week when I had one of the most eventful weeks of the year, but we still released that episode last week, and I hope you guys enjoyed that episode with TK. But this week is going to be a real nice one, y'all. You don't even know. I'm talking to my dude, Blue Label Johnny, right? Yeah, that's right. BLJ. Actually, that don't sound right. That acronym sounds a little like a sexual deed. But either way, man, this is a very entertaining episode because we became fast friends. This is a dude that I met through the industry, working and DJing at the same place, Two Brothers, which I will be the next 3 Fridays in November, closing out the last Friday at Library Bar in downtown Fort Worth. And so come check me out at Two Brothers the next 3 Fridays in Plano. As well, we got some silent discos, some comedy shows, all types of shows. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. And as well, you know that we got this production set for the podcast all set. And if you are looking to get your own podcast episode recorded, both audio and video, this setup is available and can be set up anywhere. And I got some pretty cool interviews lined up. And yeah, we're just going to keep these episodes releasing every single Wednesday as fast and much as possible. As well, y'all, you know what it is. We are always looking for sponsors because we are getting more and more downloads every single week, more listeners, and we appreciate every single one of the listeners. I keep saying we, but you know, I appreciate, and we, you as a listener, me as the podcast host, we are a team to make this dream happen. And so, yeah, if you are interested to be a sponsor for the Metro Icon Podcast, feel free to hit me up on my socials or on the emails, ShawnKayDoItAll@gmail.com or MetroIconLive@gmail.com, y'all. This is a super fun episode. I had a blast, and I honestly definitely want to bring Blue Label Johnny back, possibly even as a co-host, because it's just too much fun when we are together and interacting. It's always so much just dynamic, man. Like every single time we are hanging out, it's always 100, and you're gonna see that full relationship dynamic in this episode. So go ahead, turn up your speakers, and enjoy this episode where I interview my dude, Blue Label Johnny.
You can do it all. You can.
Do it all, baby.
You know what time it is, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome everybody back again to another episode of the Metro Icon Podcast. I am your host, Shawn Kay the Showman, and owner of Do It All Entertainment and DIA Media Solutions. And you know what we do on this show is that we highlight the world of entertainment and media and the icons that live in it, the stories that come through it. And listen, y'all, this is going to be a very, very special episode. Let me just tell you that right now, because you don't have to adjust your vision. You don't have to question the drugs that you've taken right now. Possibly if you're listening to this episode, I know it very well looks like I'm sitting into a mirrorverse version of myself in about 9-10 years. But this is actually another human being that literally I've just met in the last 72 hours just by so chance. And getting to know this dude, this homie, and a man of my tribe in the game, I knew I had to put him on this episode. So it's going to be a very fun conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, please show some love to my guy, Blue Label Johnny.
Hey, what it do? What it is? What's cracking?
Man, dude, I'm so happy you came through. I'm like, you showed up today, man, because it's like we literally just met Friday night.
That's a fact.
And so Friday night. Most Fridays, if I'm not out of town, I have this regular spot at Two Brothers in Plano. Shout out Two Brothers. Shout out my boy Tim Cockring. That's not his real last name, but it's a story. I might bring him on this podcast just to talk about that story.
I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that story.
It's
but that's
fascinating.
Fine. I'm sure
Dude, it is
I don't want to.
fascinating. It's wild.
But
and
on that same
fascinating.
token, shout out to DJ Brian Pibb because that's the only reason.
Oh, yeah, that dude.
Why you and I met.
That's right.
Because I was filling in for
so
my homie. That's my homie.
That's what's crazier about this meeting is because I don't work every single Friday, and usually we have that other DJ, Brian, right? He's in the back pub area, and he's just spinning while I'm running my night in the front. And so I happen to come, and I see my boy Tim, and I see him like, yo, dude, DJ looks different. Before you had a bald white guy, now you got a brown bald guy, and I'm like looking at him. I'm like looking at his features. I'm looking at his forearms. I'm seeing how I'm like, this dude is Indian. And then I told him,
it sounds like you were about to say, I'm pretty sure he's a werewolf.
he could have been. You could be, bro. You could be. I mean, most Indians, we got
In high
that.
school, that's what they like. The girl's like, "Are you a werewolf? Why?
Because you got so much hair on your legs and arms.
That sounds like some East Texas bullshit. That's what it sounds.
Well, it most it most definitely is.
Yes. But either way, in getting to know this guy, and first off, he was rocking a Marvel periodic table shirt that showed all these different Marvel superheroes as like the primary elements. I was like, dude, where'd you get this shirt? And he's like, $8 at Walmart. I'm like, are we related? Like, I was like, it was so 100. And
We have not look. That is even a question we have not even addressed.
we haven't looked. We could be related, yo.
It's
100%.
I mean, and looking at, I mean, like you are the better looking version of me.
Stop it.
But
But
it is quite. It is quite possible.
If that is what you think, and you are 9-10 years in the future, I'm good with it.
Hey,
You look
I'll take
good,
that
bro.
as a compliment.
Yeah, you look good, bro. And I didn't really have to help you that much loading your gear back into your car. You were like, yeah, I've been doing this. Wait, bro, this is what we do. And I get that mentality, 100%.
It's just, I mean, because we're now, he's, I guess he's talking as if y'all know, because like we've been like we did only meet 72 hours ago. However, we have now that night we done talked a little bit. He knows quite a bit more about me than someone who just said no.
And we're gonna get into that.
Yeah, we're both DJs, and that's the
Well,
core
I'm actually
of,
more of an MC.
Or you're but
Yeah.
I mean, you was
Yeah, but I was
you was a
DJing.
KJ.
Yes.
You was out there.
I know the fundamentals, right?
Now, I didn't get a chance to really check you. I mean, I did see you at work, but like, do you play music between the songs?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm mixing.
So then
those-
you
yeah.
are. So whether or not you want to hold that title, like, yes, I'm someone who like. If you want to talk about booking a DJ, yes, I'm a DJ, but I in no way, shape, or form like, I'm Blue Label Johnny.
Yeah.
I'm not DJ Blue Label. I'm not stepping on the toes of cats that really get out there and really know how to do. I mean, like, I know how to make it sound like I know what I'm doing. But that's why I'm Blue Label Johnny, not DJ.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I do DJ.
But you've been in the game. You've been in the game for a minute.
Yeah, but as a professional, like I don't step on the toes of guys that actually
Scratch and
I mean, I learned how to do all that. I've done that, but like I didn't ever get paid to do what I learned so many. Now, what I get paid to do is be a professional. You know what I'm saying? And like that, and that's cool because a lot of the guys that do have the love and the art of being a DJ don't want to. I mean, like, I'm not saying they can't be professional, but a lot of guys don't want to be professional. So, like, that's where a guy like I think you or and I come in, where we have no problem being professional. We have a love of music and talking to people, and then that's where it comes in for us to be able to. Because I like even though that I know how to do what DJs do in a club setting and in like a private event, I know guys that can't do
both.
one or the other.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They only can
Absolutely.
do this or they can only do that.
Absolutely.
And it was, kind of like, because most people are like, oh, John is one of those kind of DJs. But I mean, if you really talk to me, I'm telling you on a podcast, I'm not one of the, like, I'm not. I
Don't give him that much credit, DJ community.
I'm 45 years old. I never carried crates of records.
That's OG. That's real OG shit.
But that's when I hear DJ, and most of the people I know that I do consider DJs have done that, or even still do that.
Here's the thing.
I'm not saying that's the qualification to be a DJ.
No,
but I'm
no,
saying
for sure. I hear what you're
people
saying.
I know still do.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I for myself, I think I'm much more of an MC. That's primarily what I get contracted out to do. But I consider I can do the DJ. That's what I. That's
Right.
I can do the DJ, but I'm an MC. You know.
That's the best thing is. I can do the DJ.
Yeah,
okay?
I can do it. I can do it if you need it. I got it. You can do it.
If you need it, I can do it. Okay.
Right.
Tendies find a way. Okay. Tendies always find a way.
Oh God, there's probably a deep root. We're not going to explain to the non-Mulu
No, but
listeners.
but
what
for the
a
Mullet
Tendi is,
listeners,
but-
hey,
for the Mulu listeners, you know what it is.
and look, the Mullet listeners, maybe you don't identify as a Tendi.
Yeah.
I do identify as a Tendi, and I always find always find a way.
Yeah, and to everyone else, it's just a T word. All right.
And if you're not a T, you can't say it.
Don't even try.
Don't even think it if you're not a Tendi. Okay, it's not your word. You cannot use it.
So you've been DJing. You said for how long?
Oh Lord. Okay. I've already said how old I am, so you already know I'm old. 15? No, probably over 50. We'll say 15 plus years now at this point.
So closer when you were turning 30.
Fuck, 20 years. We'll say 20 years. No, because it was definitely before I turned 30. Damn.
Dude, it's so funny because it's like that gives you so much more accolade to your resume.
I guess, but then but I don't want to admit it.
Don't say that it's the
I've told my age, so it shouldn't matter. But when you say 20, because here's the thing: is like my oldest child he'll very soon be 20, and however many months. I started DJing before he was born, so it has to be older than what I'm saying. It was because it has to be. Oh,
you have a living, walking sex trophy that tells you the marker.
Yes, and it's at least not. I mean, it is over, but it's at least that.
And the math still fucked you up to find that answer. That just shows we were meant for entertainment, y'all. We were those Indian guys that are not meant to do anything else other than that.
I do think there was a lot of Malayalis meant for it. But, but we're not bred to like seek it or chase it.
Yeah.
Because
I'm terrible with numbers. Are you good with numbers?
God, I'm not. See, that's the thing. I'm not that Indian.
I wanted just you to back it up from just. I mean, the argument was already proved.
I mean, so because I mean, I have we can get into a lot of stuff. I've had my own show that I've done for many years now with not with any guy with with someone who's like my brother, but he's a black dude. He passed away last year, so you know what I'm saying, like it hadn't. But I'm well vested in this. But I haven't talked a lot. In our conversations were more deep. In who we are as Americans. So I haven't really talked a lot about being Indian on in a podcast setting. So, but you identify with stuff. My mom. One of her things is I was the number one useless, especially when it came, especially as it applied to my homework in mathematics, because I'm not that good.
You are the number one useless.
Sometimes I think you're number two because you could never be number one at anything. So maybe you're number two useless. But
I'm done, dude.
I'm I don't get, I don't know what, I used to, when she's berating me at my math homework, I'm like, I don't get it. I don't know what you want me to do.
I want to dig into this right now because I feel you 100%. I actually was diagnosed with dyslexia after 18.
Yeah.
I was 18.
Can we cuss on here?
Oh, no, this is not.
Okay, well, here, fuck you, because I am 45 years old and I existed before people could be. I know I have ADHD.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what I'm saying? But this is, I existed before a time before you could get. I learned that must be nice. Youth privilege.
You know what? Get the fuck off your
Youth
damn
privilege.
gray-haired fucking pedestal over here and shit like that. You know what?
Can't.
The cards played the way it is.
You know
Either
what,
way,
Shawn?
I could have been diagnosed well before high school, and that shit would have been probably a lot easier for me. But I had to struggle until fucking graduating.
you?
Yeah, but luckily, my dyslexia also affected my puberty, so they went at the same speed and shit, But either way. So can we swear on this? Yeah. Fuck you. I love it, dude. No, but like, so regardless, yeah, I think there's something to attribute from that you can. I would like to talk on it. Just this will be the deep part, I guess, you know. And let's see if you can remember that far back. But when you were growing up as a kid, and you were born here,
I was.
You were born here, so that's a big deal.
As I told people, I was born and bled in East Texas.
Okay, so here, this is. I want to start this poll. Like all my Malu communities.
Yes. We talked about this before the podcast.
Yes, everybody in the Malu community, whoever is listening, and if somebody else is not listening, we want to find the oldest American-born Malu, first generation American-born.
My claim is it's not me, because my best friend now. Growing up, my best friend, who also was a Malu, his name was Alan Moses. Shout out to my G. I'm not sure if he may live back in Texas again. I think I heard. He grew up next to me. He's, I believe, a few months older than me. So he is the oldest living Malu that I knew that was
first generation and born in America.
Born in the United States. You know, his parents immigrated here, and he was born also in my same year, 1977, but a few months prior to me. So I can't make the claim that I'm the oldest, but like I'm only shy of him by a few months. I don't know of another person older than him.
But he's 45.
He's the same age as me.
Right.
I've never met a 46-year-old Malu.
Yeah.
Born in the United States.
Yeah. And so that help us. I want to meet this person. You know, I'll bring you back on the show.
Yeah. Again,
and we'll call
I'm not
them
making
in.
the claim. Oh, I'm the no, I'm not making that claim. My experience is I'm one of two of the first. My claim is I'm the one of the first two.
Until you find it. So, I mean, again, like, this is to your knowledge.
I'm a July Leo.
This is to
I'm
your knowledge.
Smack dab in the middle of the year. There's a great, there's a very many months.
Yeah.
And other people could have, even prior to my homies.
Absolutely. You can be an Aquarius like me, yo. So, I mean, either way, so
that explains
if there's anybody out there.
So much right now.
Yeah, but that.
You being Aquarius explains. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know nothing about anybody else's astrology aside from my own. I mean, I know literally zero about everybody else's.
Yeah, but I share a birthday with Michael Jordan.
Yeah, see, definitely those traits are not whatever they're not interchangeable. Obviously, they're not across the board just the same.
Are you fucking kidding me, dude? It's in the stars.
Sure.
It's in the stars. I have great. You want to know some crazy shit? So today is my goddaughter's birthday. It's my niece, and so literally today is her 6th birthday. Shout out, happy birthday, Nyla Boo. I love you. I judge and loves you. Even though this episode's coming out in like a month, but she shares a birthday with Michael Jackson, and she's my only godchild. So it's like I share a birthday with Michael Jordan. She shares a birthday with Michael Jackson. 2 great MJs. It's in the stars.
Is there another point, or was those two facts useless from one another?
Number one, useless. But respect the stars.
I'm going to call my mother right now and tell her, you were wrong. I've met the number one useless.
Incorrect.
His name is Shawn.
Incorrect.
His name
It
is
is.
Shawn.
It is.
Mommy, his name is Shawn.
I speak it because it's been spoken.
Mommy, he was born after me.
That's it. I only speak it because it's been spoken. So, growing up in East Texas, young Malu, and did you find? I would imagine you had to been the only Malu kid in your whatever town.
No. So I mean, like, literally, to my left, growing up, my earliest memory. My earliest memories of growing up, like that I can, as being a kid, to the left of me was my homie Alan Moses. Not a very Malayali name at all. Like, I mean, like
his last name is a first name. It's definitely a Malu name.
I'm John Thomas. Yeah, you know what I mean? So, like, look, son. Like,
which that was another thing we connected on because Thomas is my middle name. I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
That's a very Malayali landing of those biblical names.
Yeah.
Alan Moses. And my homie
is the Christian Jewish last name.
But look, my cuz was like extra dark. So I mean, like when I'm dark, most people, like most of my life.
You
most
were the
people
Molu
don't.
Mexican.
No,
next to him.
Look, I have just avoided the sun as in my old age.
Oh, but you can put on some shade.
I most people like I've heard. Okay, I'm about to tell y'all a quote. I'll censor it for I mean because I don't know the sensitivity level. Well, no,
For who?
You'll see why I'll censor it in a second.
all right.
Like I have told stories of going to Kerala and being with my family, like just to be at like a party. And I'm minding you, at least 10 times in my life, this situation has happened. Not once, at least 10. I have been telling stories of going to India in a party setting or something like that. And after I'm done, or maybe even sometimes midway in the story, a black gentleman would go, or sometimes even a black female would go, man, I thought this whole time you was a whole N-word. Mm-hmm. And they didn't say N-word.
I understand now. I understand.
I mean, like, I've known black people, white people, several people for years who just, because I never, like, they didn't hear me say it, didn't know, like I didn't assert my Indianness the whole time they know me. Mm. I've never once in my entire life ever claimed to have been anything other than a Malayali. Never, ever once. Some people just took it upon themselves to assume that either I was black and Mexican, full black.
Yep.
So, I mean, like, I was like, I've never asserted it, but some people take
Me
even
and
the
Illis-
people of those races assumed I was them.
Yeah, me and Illist, like anywhere we go, it's like everyone always has, especially even with our Malayali weddings and stuff, have such a hard, if they don't know us, they're always never assuming, you know, and so that's part of my comedy bits, right? Because it's like my racial that's my strongest attribute as a showman. With all the skills I'm able to do, is my racial ambiguity is my strongest attribute. Because it's like, it's so good. I do South Indian weddings for South Indians who have no idea I'm South Indian, right? And so it's like, you know, always that latter half during dinner before the dance, they're coming to like, oh, how do you know so much about our culture? You know, yeah. And so like, you know, telling them that like both my parents are from Kerala is mind blowing to them, right? Plus, it's like I'm doing the traditions. They're trying to figure out what I am, and I'm like, the next tradition we have is the Nilam Neeram, and they're like, oh wow, you know, and so yeah.
I mean, like, because my thing is, other than like you who knew it, it never even occurs to them like that I should even know anything about the culture. Like most people either concede and recognize it, or just write it off that I'm not anywhere near part of their culture.
See, that's, you know, it's so funny. So like, I feel like I had such and this is not even a Malu reference, but I had like that kuchu kuchu hota hey moment, you know, where like I like saw you and you're like setting up your tables and there was something different about you, and it was just like I just tilted my head slightly and was like kuchu hota.
Now, I do
something-
get it because
there's
I'm not like
something
all
here.
the way foreign, but like I am like, I would say that like as I describe myself to most people, like because you know like when you're talking to somebody and you're like, oh, I am this, I'm a Malayali, I come from the state of Kerala, et cetera, and then they're like, oh wow, that was like, I'm like, but I do have to stop you in any other assertion after that. Is that like I am of anyone who's seen The Usual Suspects, I would assert that I am the Kaiser Soze of the Malayali Indian Kerala community. I mean, like, I feel like I'm what parents like tell kids, like, Ada, mole, Blue Label Johnny is who you don't want to be, okay? Like, that's not what you want to be.
We
when
aren't
you
the
grow up.
example.
Yeah,
I'm the example.
I don't want to be the example for
Yeah.
everybody, but because like,
And that's okay.
because I'm not here to say that culture is wrong. I'm just like because like I can't be anyone else other than who I am. My parents
Sure.
came to this country in the 1970s. My mother, then my father. I told you a little bit. We don't have to go great detail, but they came in the 1970s, like, and then went to a region where, like, I didn't go to school with like my own age grade. Like my exact age grade was like one other Malayali kid. So my peer group, of course, for the next 18 years.
How about other ethnicities though?
I mean, it was filled. My East Texas upbringing was filled by every other ethnicity, whites, blacks.
Okay. So there was some diversity though, but as far as
all diverse, like
Malu community.
So my formative years, my identity is American. Like now, my parents. That's not my parents' desire.
Mm-hmm.
Like they would very much want me to identify as a Malayali, and
Sure.
you know, like and everything that comes with it. But it's like, but they're also the typical Malayalis. They, you know, had a very 40-hour plus work week. You know, in the United States in the 80s, in my upbringing, that's latchkey kid. So who's my babysitter? The television, my friends, like the American experience, there was no other outcome. Because like my friends, or not my friends, my family that have been born in Chicago's and the New Yorks and the Dallases and the Houstons, like they grew up in very large South Indian communities.
Yep.
Their experience in this country is I mean, like I'm talking about, like, you know, even though they have like the same origin story, oh, you know, mom came as a nurse or whatever the situation is, like that's where our similarities end. It's because they grew up in this like pseudo Kerala Malayali community in Dallas, in Houston, in Chicago, in New York, in LA, you know, like because there were so many of their, you know, like they grew up having to speak like, I mean, like I grew up understanding Malayalam.
But you can't speak it?
I mean, when I was younger, I could. Like, if I went to India, like this is how I describe it. If I went to Kerala, I could get around. But you would know where I've been, because you could see the trail of laughter of, like, you know, of me conversing with people, like, you know, laughing at my tongue. But I can convert, like, now, because I don't do it, like, I can understand it. But, like, I mean, my brain's not finding the words.
That's
like,
still better than me. I'll let you know. 'Cause I've never been able to speak the language.
Really?
Never. I've never been able to speak the language.
And how old are you?
I'm 35.
So you're in a weird, like, so all my...
but all my friends can, and like,
Yes, exactly.
and I can understand it, but even to an extent. There's so many times where it's just like, there's people are saying something to me, and I'm like, you know, like my brain cannot process or remember it. It's just, for me, too difficult of a language for me to process, unless I'm like maybe living in Kerala. But weird thing is, my fiance is Mexican. I'm learning more Spanish.
I'm about to school you some shit. And I don't know if he's still there, but in UT there was a professor, and he was like a linguist professor. He spoke not all languages, but he spoke many, way more than most people are, like 10 or 15. Malayalam, one of those languages. It was his opinion that Malayalam is the hardest language in the world to learn, to understand.
Like, especially with my dyslexia, when I look at like the language, the written language, you just doing a shit ton of cursive M's and M's and W's and L's.
But there's a lot of South Asian, like go to Thailand, Malaysia,
or Tibet.
Like,
I've seen all.
Like, dude,
it's all like these loopy stuff. I cannot.
I don't know the difference between our written language. Like, I mean, now when I see it in English, I can't read it to save my life. But I'm like, that's like, 5 A's, 2, 3 K's. That's Malayalam. I know that. I know that shit anywhere. But in the cursive, I can't tell it. I can't tell the difference between Malaysian, Thai. Like, it all looks like almost the exact same. That entire lower South. I mean, all those people look the same. Like, some people look a little bit more Asian.
You know what's kind of crazy?
They all have that color spectrum that we have.
You know who I feel like their racial ambiguity, like Indian racial ambiguity, is strongest? Fucking Napoleons.
Yeah, I mean,
bro,
dude,
the Napoleons are wild. Like,
but think about it. All we're talking about is arbitrary lines in the sand.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely. It's like the same thing where it's like when you meet a Pakistani guy, and they're like, "Hey, man,
that's the modern day example of exact what the fuck is the difference between a Pakistani and an Indian guy? Nothing. If you go 100 years ago,
borders
they were Indians.
Yeah, right. And so it's so funny. I'm like, so I'll have like this little like interim little like break the ice joke. If I meet a Pakistani guy, I'll be like, "Hey, man, just let you know, the borders only were with our parents, you know." That they said that. I don't know about that. It's good to see you, brother.
But like, to the language thing, now I think do you know why it is you don't, or is it just you just personally didn't understand it?
No, it's not for a lack of effort. You know, like my parents
See, now,
tried
like-
because my sister can speak very fluently.
Now I know that like because it's the like now I won't say maybe like broadly, but like I know in Lufkin, like a lot of those parents they had this thinking, and I know later they knew better, is that they thought if they taught us Malayalam, that we would have troubles learning English. Like, and it's a very penny smart dollar stupid thinking.
Yeah.
But then but what way? Because like all my super smart nieces and nephews, like they were teaching all of them like exact Malayalam and exact English is the best of their abilities, and like they're little smart motherfuckers. And
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck y'all. I have an excuse for not knowing.
I do actually. I think I do know why, and my parents told me this because growing up, my parents were worried I was a confused kid. And because
I wish my parents would've thought I was
because I didn't start speaking words like full sentences until after 3 years old. This is real. This is
And
real.
I promise you, I'm jealous right now.
I
I
wasn't
am
able to
so
speak
jealous.
full sentences, like complete and full sentences, until like after 3 years old. But there was a
checks out. I feel
reason.
like that checks out.
There is a reason that was found out on why that was. And-
Asbestos?
No.
Low power lines?
It was beyond my control, but it was my parents' control. But I'm gonna tell you this, I'm gonna tell this story in a second. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take just a short break right now to make sure I reset the camera and everything like that. Maybe we'll just go right back into it, or there might be some
Ooh, can I get
breaks.
a refill on my drink? That's a perfect opportunity.
Oh hell, yeah, I got you, cut. All right, we'll be right back. We're gonna take a short break. The more me and this dude are like connecting and just kind of talking about, you know, just relevances from our lives and experiences and all that kind of stuff.
Just natural conversations.
Natural conversations. It's just more and more we are both realizing like how 100 this relationship is going to be moving
Or
forward.
could be. I mean, like, just look.
I would like to at least.
No. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm 45 years old. Like different things that I learned. Like one thing, and I'm not saying that anyone should do as I do. I'm just saying what works for me is like removing expectations from people. Like, right this second, dude. This dude is 100 by me. He's super cool. Like we're talking about doing, but like to then go like to create expectations on you behind conversations. That's something you and I have not agreed to. I would be building in my mind.
Absolutely.
So why do like literally this second, any future thing, anything, and when we're done today, if I contact you tomorrow, the next week, like that's all you know.
I'm going to answer.
Of course, but
You know,
I'm not worried about your answer. But I'm like my expectation is only built upon that next event. You know what I'm saying? Not like because I mean like now if I was a very person that like this chemistry that because I feel like I'm a very good critic of myself.
Yeah.
So like, but I can judge that this chemistry is 100. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel that when people watch this, they'll be like, and I'm not trying to blow myself, but like Ryan,
No.
that Blue Label Johnny's interesting as fuck. No, I'm saying that our conversation, I feel, would be interesting to people outside of you and I.
Oh yeah, I mean, and this is a dynamic that again, it's rare to find, and this is to each their own. It's one of those things where this is where like I started to divert into this ideology of like what my most valuable currency is, right? And people talk about how if you ask them like, oh, what's your most valuable currency, they'll be like the US dollar, you know. And for me, the greatest currency is literally your time and energy. It's the currency that you cannot get back. It's the only thing that you can invest in that you can't get back, and that all plays into what the energy is going to be and what you want, how much you want to give, and what you're going to get back from that, and then correlating to the money, you know, like the dollar, you know. And so for me, it's like this is one of those things where like I get the best use of my currency because it's a circular we're going back and forth, and ultimately it's coming from same vibes. It's not one is giving more than the other.
It's my opinion. The only real currency is time. I mean, like everything is a subset of like dollars. We only give it dollars, pesos, electronic, whatever it is, it's only the value that an individual gives it. Like, but the only thing that is irrelevant of our opinion of it is time.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, if I give it to you, like, it's pressure because whether I give it to you or not, it's lost. So who I like, I can decide. I have several $100s in the bank. Like, I can spend it or not spend it, and it'll be there tomorrow. But today, what I do with today, I can never get back.
Absolutely. Which is a perfect segue into my next portion is with the time that I have spent putting into this podcast and make these episodes happen, we are always looking for sponsors with that dollar amount. So we'll give you our time. We'll give you our investment of energy and everything like that. And we will blow you up in the same aspect and make sure we let people know about you for the growing audience that we will be creating with this show. But you know what, man? About real energy, man. It's nailed on the head with you and I. I think we just see it very much in the same light.
Very similarly, yeah.
Very
If nothing
similarly.
else, yeah, you could say similar.
And one thing I respect about you, bro, is like I'm so naturally transparent now with my energy, where it's like I'm not gonna lie to myself. I'm always working on my self-awareness to have that. And I can see that you have that too. You will allow people to be able to give you your notes, but show me the facts. Opinion and facts are different too. So whichever case is like real knows real. And and it's funny because I have one of my closest friends that I've known only for a very short time, but we've become so close. His name is Real. And so and so we always say real is no real.
Isn't it ironic?
I know, right? But we were talking about, man, it's just kind of like, you can't choose your family. You're just given to what they are and stuff. And especially to, the Indian standard, it's like you don't deviate from family. You have to keep that legacy and the lineage and understanding that history. But as you grow older, and especially in this game, it's like you understand the value of the time that you give. And especially for the company outside of when you have to do events and all that, you want to make sure you're giving it to the right people. So you were talking about one of your boys that, you met, later in the game, I guess.
I mean, I was a young adult, but I wasn't, an adult,
Yeah.
but
I mean, it's got some substance, Bob.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah,
said,
I mean, like,
20-some years from this point.
It was my homie that said passed away last year. Like, I mean, that, like, no, like, I don't feel like I have to say it, but, like, no homo shit. Like that dude, like, I love that dude. He was like my brother. I have a brother. He's alive. I very much love him. But the relationship he and I had was very much, like, what I'm saying? Like, he knew me without me having to say stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could be real to me in a way that other people, like, were, either I can say unwilling.
Yeah.
If not unable, at least I can say unwilling. And he could, and I would not take it as an offense. His critique of me, I would not take as an offense.
Yeah.
I would be like, hell, in one exact situation, it was literally about my my biological brother. Like, I knew I used to be very abusive to my brother in my
Younger
childhood.
or older?
He's younger than me.
Okay.
I was very abusive when I was younger, but I'm thinking, here I have, like, oh, I'm mature and I'm trained. He was like, hey man, you need to stop talking to your brother. I was like, what? Huh?
Yeah.
He's like, nah, man. He's like, I was like, you my dog, you my cuz.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna check you in front of him.
Right.
But he gone now,
Yeah.
so I can check you.
Yeah.
You ain't like you really rough with. I'm like, I mean, like, immediately.
But that's love. That's love.
But immediately, like, if anybody else, I'm like, hey man, like,
Yeah.
I don't give a damn what you think.
You don't know my
I was like,
relationship with my
exactly.
family.
Him, I'm like,
Yeah. You take those words.
damn. I was like,
Much more to
shit,
heart.
maybe, like, and sometimes with time I could even say, oh, maybe that person is right. But no, with him, it was I knew what he was saying to me was not out of anywhere else other than
Love, yeah.
concern.
Yeah. And you know what? And I have that relationship, and sorry, my condolences to, passing your friend. Because it's like, being in it from especially a big Indian family, death is something as regular as the new baby that's being born into the family too. So as much as you become numb to a lot of, losing a lot of loved ones within your family, it hits different when it's a friend, right? It hits different when it's somebody that you see as a mentor, someone that you really value and have such a large quantity of substance. And, I feel that because I have that with Illest, right? And I kind of talked to you, and I've mentioned in this podcast before about you know, before me and him started even working together in our late teens, we have our historical relevance of both of our uncles who are the musical influences of ourselves. They performed together back in the day, and then it just so happened that me and him are like together. So he is the yin to my yang, right? And I say that like before when we perform events and stuff, I do a whole intro for him and everything. That's like one thing I say. He's like the yin to my yang, you know? And so those type of relationships are so hard to come by that like it's one of those things where like, hey, I don't have to waste my time. I don't have, you know, if we can make it happen, like if I'm able to meet up with him, if I'm able to like connect with like, yo, real knows real, you want to fucking give your energy to those people, right? And it's like, again, with your brother, right? I have an older sister, and it's like we have a decent relationship and with her brother-in-law, but they are fundamentally much different than I do. They live completely different lives than I do, and they've built an amazing life for them, you know. And so it's like one of my bits is I say like my sister and my brother-in-law and my nieces live in Frisco, so they're one of the Indians that made it, you know. Yeah. But again, it's like
with
that.
Indians, it's more often than not they make it.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
They don't.
100%. But you know, again, it's like my time is given to what correlates to my grind and world that I'm in. And a lot of times it's kind of like, you know, it's hard sometimes to find time for your family because you have to sometimes balance and be like, you know, there are certain obligations. But as you get older, you understand that sometimes it's like you need to just look at your own personal, what's just best for you, you know? And again, it's like you might not have a closeness with some people, and most families members, many people in families, they want what's best for you. They just don't know what's best for you.
I mean, and to me, it's like that's like one of the things is like as I get older, it's like there's nothing wrong. Like if what you want isn't hurting anyone else per se in the pursuit it's like I mean for a long time I felt something was wrong with me as a Malayali that I didn't identify with the cult, you know what I mean, in my teen, like because and again I mean like I didn't understand at the time. It's like I'm like, oh, I am, you are a Malayali before you are American, okay? At all times, never forget you are a Malayali.
I can feel it. I can feel when the finger is in my face. I can feel it.
Right, and so I mean, like, so that's what I feel like as a teen. I'm like, okay, like it's not, but as I got older, I'm like, you're gonna be who you're gonna be. It's not a right or a wrong. Like my cousins, my younger cousins, and whatever that grew up in Dallas and Houston and in these large like. The environment for them to be who they were gonna be is in place like many years before that.
Yeah.
It's that community. I didn't have the community, so I can't like. And here's the thing: is there's a couple of kids younger than me, like a year younger than me, 2 years younger than me. They're all very similar. They're not highly involved in the Malayali community. I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying like you can look at it and just see it's just that they didn't have that environment. It was all these outside that had there were louder voices than the Malayali voices. So that's what groomed them. Television, the communities, that's what's there. And then so the Indian communities and the Marthama churches and the Yakubite, like those are the communities that built these guys. I didn't have those. So how could I be anything other than I am? It's not my fault. It's not my parents' fault. They didn't know that lack of community was not going to not instill that in me. They thought working hard, telling me when they were home, they thought that wasn't. It's not. You know what I'm saying? Like they came directly from India. How could they know that any deviation from what their parents and their grandparents and their how would they know that you would have to need more than your family to direct who you are as an individual? Yeah.
Oh, I mean. Individuality is not something that is highly taught in the Indian culture.
It's not, but
expectation and tradition and having.
But it guides it. I mean, because ignorance is not a bad word. It's not a thing. It's just a lack of information or a lack of experience. Like, so if you're ignorant of a situation, how could you know? I mean, like, how could you know any different? How could you know you want to be a rapper if no one's ever allowed you to form words and rhymes and on a beat. You know what I'm saying? Like if no one's ever like said you could do it, how do you know that's even a desire that you could even pursue, you'd be good at? You know what I'm saying? So like ignorance is it is an excuse because if you don't know it, how could you know?
Right. So I mean, either way, but you definitely have that perceptional shift as a first generation American South Indian, but again, I at least was fairly close to the community. I mean, Chicago has a huge community.
I have family in Chicago, so
right?
I mean, like,
and
yeah,
then
I know
my family out here in DFW, they have all those community churches. But when I started jumping into the game, it's like I never felt part of that either, just because of who I was, and I just wasn't conducting myself through an education-based standard after high school to some high
which
profile,
is a huge deviation for
and that's a big
yeah.
deal. So again, it's like there's so much that what you're saying that I just kind of
see, and I did, but I didn't finish, which is not
So
finished.
did you finish school or did you
No, I
finish
didn't.
college?
I should be a doctor.
Oh my
For
God.
as long as
What
as
kind of
far as
doctor?
whatever one makes like $1 million a year. That's how long I was in college. So like, and
Oh, so wait, but did you get your undergrad?
I don't have
No
nothing.
receipt. No receipt.
No receipt.
Not one.
Not one.
Oh my God. I at least have a B of A. Now I know what to go back to my parents and be like, see, it's not that bad.
So, but
Damn, that's wild.
So, is it my fault that I'm the number one useless, or is it my mom's fault for saying I was the number one useless at like 6 years old? Who's
Number one useless.
Is it my mom's fault for being for like making a prophecy, or is it my fault for fulfilling the prophecy?
Hey man, listen, bro. I 100% believe in manifestation. I believe in that shit. And yeah, I mean, like again, it's like if we were just talking about how like this is gonna be a quote I'm gonna be saying, like I'm gonna meet somebody and I'll be describing them like,
See,
how terrible are they? Like just like blue. The only way I can describe it is the way Blue Label Johnny's mom always used to say is number one useless. Fucking fantastic, dude.
See, like I will tell you,
But
like,
it could be because of years of her telling you that you were useless that you
I mean,
end
it
up.
could be. I mean, like I don't like. Here's
But she
the,
didn't know any
here's
better.
the thing is, like I'm only useless to her. What she would
standards.
identify her standard.
Yeah.
Do you think? Let me tell you. You want to tell you one of my Blue Label Johnny, what his biggest flaw is in life? Overconfidence. I don't think I'm very good looking, but a mirror has to remind me.
I'll give you the validation though. You are. I know you don't need it.
No.
You're not bad looking.
I don't desire to know. I don't think I'm good looking. So
Fine, I'm gonna tell you anyway.
But a mirror reminds me that to me, I don't know what you see, because to me beauty is not the beholder. I can only bestow what my eyes like. A mirror reminds me that I'm not good looking. But like I operate in the world like I am. You know what I'm saying? Like a mirror or picture. When I see pictures, I'm like, why didn't anybody? What business? I've had some beautiful girlfriends, and when I see pictures of myself, I'm like, what business did I have talking to those women? What possessed me to go talk to that woman? Like, who do I think I am? Because if I saw me talk to that girl, I'd be like,
that man is shooting a shot he can't reach.
Cuz, have you seen a mirror?
I feel that though.
Have you seen yourself?
I'll tell you this. I personally, with my self-confidence, I don't think I'm a bad-looking guy. I wouldn't call myself.
You're not a bad-looking guy.
I wouldn't call myself the best-looking guy.
I mean, I would say my son, who people say look like me. I think I used to go to my son's football games in high school, and see the girls, be like, oh my God, that's my son. I was like.
Did that shit?
That never happened.
Did that give you?
Son of a bitch.
Oh, you were mad?
Saying, well, I mean, I'm proud. I'm like,
I'm
both of my youngest son, way taller than the both of us.
Oh shit.
Way taller than both of us. I think he's better looking than me. My oldest son, definitively better than both, but he's not. He's just a hair taller than me. Like, I'm super proud, but I can identify that fuck your ass for not having the high school problems my first generation. Like, never black enough for the black girls. Don't know Spanish for the Mexican girls. No other Indian girls for me to talk to. And definitely too brown
You
for the
ain't
white
ready for
girls.
the shotgun
And
of that average Texan white girl.
I'm in East Texas. I didn't, my entire youth experience was that I was unattractive. Literally unattractive. It was not till my first year in college when girls were coming up to me and hey, what's good? I'm like, is this punked? I know when I'm being, I know what a setup for a joke is.
Then you and I were then on the same similar path because I didn't get shit before in high school and beforehand. Every girl that I liked, they only saw me as a friend and always liked my friend. You know what I'm saying? Or one of them. You know what I mean? And so I wasn't pulling girls. I was that super nice guy. I was the dude that was holding your bags to Claire's at the mall,
Now, where I grew up, the girls were going through the same thing I was. I would have been terrified to bring any other ethnicity in high school as a child to, hey, mom.
Oh, no, yeah.
Yeah, I would have been terrified.
That I know.
Every girl that I was interested in.
This was outside the house.
But every girl I was interested in was terrified of the same thing at her house. How was she going to, how was a black girl going to bring an Indian boy home? Maybe not as bad. For the Mexican. I mean, but I'm
Mexican
sure
girls,
some
I
of
feel
them,
like it'd be
but
okay.
the white, and of
especially
course,
the Christian Indian. So that's why Hispanics
but in
like
East
us.
Texas, the majority of the people, I had black friends, Mexican friends, but the majority of the people were East Texas. So the majority of the girls and my friends and everyone, who would be interested in girls, those interests were terrified of the same thing. I would ask girls out, they would say yes, and then by day's end, I can't go out with you. I'm not talking about an extended period of time. I'm talking about day's end. And then many times the girls years later would tell me, hey, I'm sorry, but there's no way my dad would have let me date you.
Yeah.
But that was East Texas.
Yeah, and you get it. And it's
because of course I get it.
But
my parents were doing the same thing.
but again, after high, okay, so then you're in high school, and this is probably leading into your 18 to your young 20s. That's probably where you developed your confidence, and that's where essentially it was for me. After I left high school, I'm like, I can now not be that guy ever again. I'm now beyond that. So it was I feel like I had a little bit of a shift from middle school was fucking. I hated middle school and shit. I hated that shit.
I loved middle school.
I hated it, but
my Catholic private school upbringing was
fuck that shit.
It was it was beyond privilege.
Good for you. but
high school.
But going into college, right? And then after I left, I did a year and a half at Harper College, a community college, in Palatine, and then I went to Columbia, which is downtown, and I was out of the house.
Right.
And from there, that's where a new realm. And it was building either way before that, because I was a late bloomer, so then I started to care about my image and all that kind of stuff a little bit more. But yes, I then built this kind of confidence and was then pulling in a lot more different females, and I didn't have as much to worry about. What if I was attracted to them? I was attracted to them. I didn't have to worry about the whole parental dilemma and shit like that, unless it was super, super serious. But most of the time, it never got that way. My parents have only met maybe 2 or 3 girls that have ever were considering, right? And even this one, my parents met.
Yeah, I think my parents have only met one female.
Yeah. So but this is so before this time, I want to touch a little bit on this. This is probably what is going to make you the most gangsta fucking American-born Indian, because these circumstances I've never heard of is you have 2 kids. And they're both white, half white.
Gangster.
It is gangster shit. In the standards of the Mulu community, this is Mulu gangster shit. Because it's bold. It's bold, to say the least.
But poor decisions.
But
I think it's
either way, these walking poor decision trophies that you have.
Now I would not here's the thing is
you're I know you're not you don't regret having.
Oh no, exactly.
If
someone it came right the second and said, "Hey, you can go back and redo shit," I would immediately set that date after my youngest son was. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever I could do would be after that date.
After that date.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
I feel that. But here's what is awesome is that you have two sons, both half white, from two different mothers.
And somehow they're both redheaded. And I don't have a.
Your kids are redheaded Malus?
No, like.
The moms were redheaded.
Both of them, like, while their skin, like, my oldest, like me, July, boy is dark as shit, but then his color fades, like, with the temperature. My youngest son, paper. He will burn instantly, but both of them have the same, like, because they're different mothers, both redheaded, but, like, in the sunlight, they have very dark brown hair, almost black, but
in the sunlight
has
it
this
glows.
red
Hue?
sheen.
This little hue?
Like only like when the sunlight hits it, you're like, the fuck? Like, so like they have that similarity, but other than that, like
glorious. That is a beautiful thing,
they're
man.
both very good looking.
That's a beautiful thing.
Way better looking than I.
I do got a little bit, I guess, a little side question from that. When did you go bald officially?
So
was it before or after your kids were born?
I'm trying to think.
Had they ever seen you with
It
hair?
was before. No, they didn't. So like, my life can almost be like between East Texas and like my DFW experience. Like, so in East Texas, I had locks. Like, I mean, my shit was always in a ponytail from like 15 years old to whatever time sometime in my 20s. Ponytail. Like, it's always been an extreme.
If you couldn't be a legend enough.
Before I had lost my hair, I thought I was the Highlander, Antonio Banderas, and Brad Pitt from Legends of the Fall like, you couldn't tell me a motherfucking thing about my hair because I didn't give a good goddamn, because I thought I was everything and a pot of grits, okay?
There we go.
Like, dude. And then, like, my whole, like, as soon as I started growing my hair, my fucking dad is like, I think you're going bald. I think you're going bald. But I went to India.
When did that start happening? Like, when did the shoreline start to deplete?
It didn't happen when I had long hair. I went to India one year, and even to this day, it irritates me so much how the Malu community, like, cares about males with long hair. Because many different Indian communities, like in India, males have long hair. But for whatever my Christian Malu community, like, especially my immediately blood relations, just my mom being one of them, just really cared about my hair. One year we're going to India, and I went without my father. My mom's brother, I mean, like, he pestered me, like, more than he, like, on anything ever in his life. I mean, like, I was in college at the time, like, would call me weekly. I'll pay for your haircut. Please, let us not go home with your hair like that. You can grow it back. Why? Come on, please. Please, let us not go. You don't want us.
Just try it one time.
Please, just
give it a chance.
Oh, that's an
one
exact
time.
quote. Please, I'll pay.
Yeah.
So, what does my dumb ass do? Oh, I cut it.
But you, like, shaved it?
No.
You just cut it short.
You're a Karaman? Why do you have a hair? No. My family very much loved me to have the uncle, like, sprout on the back
pot.
half of my hair or whatever.
The good pot.
Something, whatever. I don't even know what it would do because I've never given it a chance. But whenever, like, I had a whatever, I had some at the time, I think it was the 90s. I think that bitch was.
Oh, like a faux hawk?
Like a. Oh, no.
Okay.
I wish.
Oh, the thing in the front.
Oh, no.
Oh, wait.
No, hold up, cuz.
Are you talking about the thing that was flat and then it just stick up in the front?
Yeah. See, that's what I envisioned. That's what I envisioned. What you described, you accurately described what I envisioned. However, after the gel would set in, that bitch would turn into a wave. So, like, until, like, I saw a side picture, like, several hours after my head had set, I was like, what? Nobody told me. My shit is like, you can surf on my shit. Nobody told me my shit looked like I was creating a crest in a way. Yeah, but anyway, so that's what I was doing.
So when did you go bald?
But so that's when I
once you
cut
saw
every
that,
away,
once you saw the wave,
and I was trying, like I was dead set intent on growing it back. But then when it was all
you
cut
saw
away,
that,
I was like,
it's gonna be years of awkwardness.
so. But I was doing like the fade business for certain years, and then when I moved to the DFW, I started bouncing, and then
bouncing.
Oh yeah, I used to be a bouncer for several years. I'm all of 5'7", but let me tell you, I'm not planning on nothing to fuck with. But 1 week into bouncing, someone said you should shave your head. You look more intimidating, and I was like, I'm balding anyway, motherfucker. Fuck this shit.
And how old was
Now
that?
I did go. So my son's 19. That was 20 years ago.
Okay.
So a year before he was born, I did it, and I did it in phases because I was terrified. I was gonna have a pack of hot dogs on the back of my neck. I would have rathered to have the uncle cut if there was gonna be a pack of hot dog situations on the back of my head. And I did it in phases. Like I went from like a 2-guard to a 1-guard. I was like, okay. I don't got an Oscar Mayer wiener pack on the back of my head, so I was like, I can go the full Monty. I can go all the way to the skin. I was terrified. Oh my god, because I've seen bald people like before then. I was like, there's no way in hell I would walk around with a pack of hot dogs on the back of my head. So I was terrified that I may run into the same situation.
Oh shit. Fuck off.
Because when you told me this name on Friday night, let me tell you. This is not what I envisioned your logo to look like. I was like, what a dope name.
You know what, man? I am welcome. I am welcoming you to
and look,
be
that's
able
what
to.
I stand like. That's the thing is like I stand on my shit. Like the best I can do is just I will send you what I think is a good version. I'm not gonna tell you everyone else is gonna think it's great. I will send you like I just said. When I hear Metro Icon podcast,
I'm not opposed.
I have a vision in my head. So what I can do, all I can do, is put
you.
I mean, like this isn't made for great podcast.
You can only put the
like,
potential out there, right?
You know, I'm just to put like evidence to my word, like what I'm talking about. Like this is just what I do on my iPad.
Oh, flex it up, flex some graphics.
Yeah, this is just this is my. My gallery on my Procreate.
Let me see. Are you procreating on this shit?
That's what I bought an iPad for.
Oh shit.
Yeah, this ain't no joke, son. That's what I do, son.
Wait, hold on. Are you drawing these by hand?
Oh yes, son. That's an Apple Pencil.
Yo, get the fuck out of here.
That's an Apple Pencil.
You drew this?
Oh yeah. And that's a perfect example. Is there's the source material that I drew the image from. I looked at it to draw the image from.
Yo, come on. I'm having a Step Brothers moment. I'm like, do we just become best friends? Yep.
I mean, like,
do you want to do karate in the garage?
So much space for activities.
No, there's so much space. Yo, this is fucking real. And you are a Marvel guy, obviously.
I mean, yes. I mean, like, I do. Look, I appreciate the other guys, but no. As a Malu growing up in this country,
let me just go ahead and say
the stories
absolutely.
of Marvel is what I identified with.
I welcome whatever.
Exactly. I mean, that's all
you want to do.
All I can do is just show you what I see when I think Metro.
All I can promise you is I won't lie to you.
Yeah, no, I mean, like you, and if you don't like, guess what? Like, I'm not gonna be offended if you don't like it.
Right. And I 100%.
And it's not gonna be like, oh, you're wrong.
That's fine.
Your opinion is just as valid as my opinion.
You know what? Here's the thing, bro. So these episodes are being pre-recorded. It's going to be some time before we have even the first episode.
Even before this is out, you will have this.
You could possibly create the season 2 logo. Although I already have video animations. I already have video animations and shit.
No, because that's the thing is, you showed me that, and that was like I ain't go for like I'm all the way 100. That was dope. That was whoever did that. Now I'm not gonna shit on whoever did it because
he was also a mother.
You like
Lance
it,
George.
but here's the thing is you like it. Now here's another thing, like just a little history and shit I did. Like in DFW, like now you're 35 years old, so I don't. How versed were you in hip hop? Now, but you're also from Chicago, so you may not even know the nuances of like Texas hip hop in like the 2000s.
So you like talking about Mike Jones?
No. How about Lil
Mike Jones was
not-
Houston, right?
It's Mike Jones Houston, but ice cream paint job.
Yes.
Now, have you seen that video?
Yes.
Okay, do you remember any aspects of that video in particular?
I mean, it was a hip hop music video.
It was hip hop music. Now, but
I'll say
all
that I
the
don't have
most of the prime guys were wearing white T-shirts, and on the T-shirts, now it wasn't me, but they were all hand painted. Now they were happened to be hand painted.
Are you about to tell me that you were in that fucking music
I
video?
was not in that music video. Now, I'm personally offended by that music video for what I'm about to say. So, I myself, at the same time, had a hand-painted T-shirt company. And I was in Dallas. And I was very offended that he did not get me. No, and I'm not on some, oh, Jen, are you offended? No. I was making waves. People wearing my I gave my shirts to Bun B, Pimp C, OPP, you know everybody, okay? Like Ludacris. I mean, like I gave.
Oh, shit.
I mean, like, and people were wearing my shirts. I have an Ozone magazine every month. Not like one
Ozone
time.
magazine?
It was a Southern hip hop magazine. Came out every month for several years. Almost every month there was somebody wearing something I hand painted in, like rappers wearing something I painted. So I was
who
very
they
offended.
go with? Who did he go with?
Who did it? It was a Houston company. Now, granted, they were making as much waves as I was, but it was a Dallas song. I was very offended that he did not come to the home team. I was living in Dallas at the time, and it was Dallas art. Like, I didn't have any marketing dollars. The reason, I made several $1,000s a month out of people just wearing the shirt and people asking the wearers, "Where did you get that?"
Okay, so you see, like, here's the thing. Like, I don't know if I told you this. I think I did tell you because I started in the bar and bar mitzvah game. That's like one of the attractions that people would have. Is that like they're doing giveaways or like handouts to the kids with their names on it, like whatever, and those guys would do T-shirts or hats or whatever.
You know how I built my brand? It was called. So you sent me a text today. We're going to talk about your email address.
Which one?
Baptist Originals.
Which one?
In the text, you said, hey, what's your email address? And I said, baptistoriginals@gmail.com.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay, yours. I thought you were talking about mine.
mine.
I thought you were about to be like, I'm going to design you a new email address.
My T-shirt company that we're going to talk about
was
called
Baptist Originals.
I'm like this.
It's
I'm
for
literally talking about
the
my
church?
dumbness.
It's for the church.
No, so like there was a company in the early 2000s called Mesquite, and they were like, I've been known how to paint since I don't know how old, son, like long time ago. And like I was seeing this company paint shirts, and like a dumbass, I'm like, oh wow, that's so cool. And so like when I started rapping, like I was trying to create merch for like us to sell and wear. And then like I was doing like stencils and all this kind of shit, and I was like, man, this is so fucking difficult because screen printing was crazy expensive in the late 90s, early 2000s, very more expensive than it was worth it. So I was trying to find workarounds to do
and
this.
You got motherfuckers at home printing it out their
of
damn
course,
printer.
you couldn't do
and
that.
Using their iron and shit.
Yeah. Wasn't none of that.
I remember those days.
Wasn't none of that
It don't
back
work.
then.
It don't work that way.
None of that back then. And I'm doing these stencils, and then I find out like this company already exists for years, and I back-ass find out it's easier for me, who knows how to paint directly on the shirt than it is to create a stencil or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then like I was like doing portraits of people and like on T-shirts. I could paint this exact shirt.
How long would it take you per shirt though?
Dude, on like a T-shirt, it like if you're doing a painting, you should probably do several layers. But on a T-shirt, you can't do this. So like I would accomplish it in like 1 to 2 to 3 layers. Take me 3 hours at most.
One shirt though.
For one shirt. But like I was selling them for $45 to $100 a shirt. And sometimes I was selling record labels 20 or 30 shirts at a time. But I got this ball started all by going to bars where DJs that I knew or liked were going, and I would go on MySpace, find their logos, And
put
I
it on
would
the
paint
shirt?
it on the because
That's gangster.
everybody and their mama had a
Yeah.
T-shirt line.
That's dope.
Here's my shirt.
Yeah.
You want to wear my shirt?
Yeah.
Nah, nigga, your shit ain't cool. Like I don't want to wear that.
But he's wearing your art.
But not just that.
With his brand.
Their logo.
Yeah, their brand.
Who?
Yeah.
If you give somebody with
That's
their
genius
thing
marketing,
on it,
bro.
If you give somebody with their thing on it,
Oh shit.
and I'm Gucci with the art, so it ain't this half-ass. So people would then like wear their logo. Where did you get that? Because it's paint, so it doesn't look like screen print. It immediately sets it apart from everything else. So when you wear it, where did you get that from? Oh, this dude.
Is that what it sound like? After you were saying?
No, it was much quieter than that.
Oh, so
Because it would be a MySpace message.
So they'd be
Hey,
like,
yo, I
where
heard."
did you get that shirt? And you'd be like, from that guy, Blue Label Johnny.
Not that. It was more like crickets because it would be a MySpace message going, "Hey, yo, I heard DJ such and such told me they got their shirt from you. You are correct."
Yeah, yeah.
And then I would I would paint people's children, album covers. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's a company that I was admiring couldn't even. They weren't doing that.
So you understand, obviously, everything happens for a reason, and that right there, actually, for me, that's even more interesting than your DJing story. To be honest with you, it seems like I think you're more passionate. Yeah,
You're
I think
absolutely
art.
correct.
I think
You're absolutely
art
correct.
is definitely way more your passion.
absolutely
It just
correct.
so happens that you and I met during a
Because
DJ gig.
I've been able to find a way to fund my passions with another sub passion. I love music.
Listen, entertainers got to diversify themselves, and so many of them are
Anybody,
concerned to try.
to be able to live the way you want to.
Yeah.
You should have multiple streams of income. Anyway.
Absolutely.
And I do
so
that.
and so that's like one thing I hope to even help even just one person. And as cheesy as that sounds, it's actually absolutely real. Like to help
actually
one person to understand the education that we live in an era that absolutely you can go into what you love to do every single day and you would do it as a traded barter system, but understanding that you are making long-term planning moves. You're not making moves based on short-term gains. Like that is something that I suffered with for years. Like I would let go of the guy that was paying me $200 twice a month and canceling him and leave him in the gutter for a higher paid gig.
A one-time gig?
A one-time
Yeah.
gig. A one-time gig. When this dude would have paid me $400 a month for like X months. You know what I mean? And so like understanding that short game versus long game thinking. And it's like when you know that, you are able to kind of start to at least hopefully pan together the small steps to take to the big goal, right? And part of that is like that's why I had my guy Dr. Ruben Brown. This dude is like a ninja when it comes to like he owns a credit solutions company, and so being a understand.
I might need to talk to him.
Damn, dude. Don't trust me. This dude has hooked me up, bro. Like I'm talking about some people remove them strikes because you know what I mean?
He'd probably cry if he saw me.
Nah, man. I'm probably he's seen worse. He's seen worse. And you wouldn't be the first. You wouldn't be the first bald Indian entertainer he's trying to fix the credit score for.
Now, I would say that's probably a commonality between my little
He's like-
entertainers.
It'd be like
We're not
I
numbers
just
guys.
lectured him, and you do an older version of this motherfucker.
Look, we are not numbers guys.
I know we are.
I'm sorry.
I
wish.
We can admit it.
Oh my
I can admit it.
God.
You can admit
I
it.
wish I was. It
Look-
would make my life
Oh my.
so much easier.
Yeah, but you know, but again, it's but yeah, Pure Credit Solutions, Dr. Ruben. I mean, honestly, if you hit him up, he will hook you up like month to month. He'll hook you up.
I mean, like,
it
with
really
every
isn't
bit of
bad.
seriousness,
But
he
but
probably gonna hear from Blue Label
but like
Johnny.
long-term planning is understanding that financial literacy. I only started gaining that in the last few years. But again, it's like that's kind of like just one element of the education I'm trying to bring in that helps these young creatives. I'm like, yo, until the fucking world goes into an era where like the internet and music and all that kind of shit doesn't exist, it would be some crazy circumstances, and it's just like every person for their own. But until then, I'm gonna provide whatever education. If I know it, if I don't know it, I want to learn about it. But like, this was awesome. It was absolutely 100. I'm gonna let you know, man. You're gonna be seeing a lot more of this dude. I don't know if you're gonna see him live, but you're definitely gonna see him.
You definitely coming on Air Don't Care. I don't know if you know that.
On Air Don't Care. Then shit, I'm gonna say a lot more probably.
Oh yeah,
there.
like I will say, I'm very proud of how I behave myself on your show, because
Me too.
On Air Don't Care is everything that implies. Oh my God! Like if I mean, I'm hoping people go. Just Google. You don't got to Google my name.
All right, let me.
Don't
ask.
Google mine. If you want to Google
Blue
something
Label
about me,
Johnny.
don't no. Google On Air Don't Care, no spaces. That's what you're going to Google. On Air Don't Care with no spaces. I promise you, if you Google that, there's a couple other things that pop up, but the majority of things that will pop up will be my podcast, On Air Don't Care. It'll be the old incarnation of it when my homie was alive, but I stand like. It's entertaining. I make no promises you'll like it.
Yeah,
but it's entertaining.
And again, you don't. Not everyone is supposed to.
Yeah, not everything is for everybody.
I gotta ask though, on Air Don't Care, you drop the men bombs, Brooke?
I mean, yeah. I mean, like,
because you were with your co-host who was a black guy.
Yeah, I mean, like, because most of my life.
That's a yes.
I gotta give a story.
You have to.
I gotta give a story that explains
Does it
the
lead
situation.
to a yes?
So my blood brother, comes to Dallas one weekend, and this is back when my homie was alive. This is several years ago, and I was like, oh shit. I was like, hey man, come with me we're gonna come to a party tonight. And he's like, oh yeah, come with me. I was like, so. And mind you, I've had a radically different. We all pretty much high school life was similar, but college and then on was radically different. So he comes into this party, and there's a large assortment of African American individuals around, and as he and I are walking up, there's a large assortment and.
You and your East Texas vernacular.
They're very.
We had a large assortment of.
They're very
African individuals.
Very hood. It's a very hood assortment of African American individuals. It's not your average African American. It's very, very hood.
Yeah.
Very street element involved in what's going on.
They're in that special tax bracket.
And there's a group of them, and I nod at one of them, and they're like. And it was like they were like, "What's up, N-word?" And I was like, "What's up?" And again, no one said N-word. I was like, "What's up?" And we're back, and we continue walking on. And my brother goes, you can say that?" And I was like, "Say what?" He said the N-word, and I was like, "What do you mean?" He goes, you can say the N-word to them? And I was like, you can't? This is my blood brother. Same mama, same daddy, same high school experience. I was like, what? you don't use that?
I know damn well my sister.
You don't get a pass to say the word. Because here's the thing. In my lifetime, there have been African American individuals who had offense.
I know my sister has not.
Now, hold up.
I'm pretty sure she's not. But
I have met people who had offense to me using the word. That has happened. Now, ask me, John, Blue Label Johnny, did you defend yourself? Ask me.
No, you didn't have to. Hey, Blue Label Johnny, did you have to defend yourself?
I didn't, because other African American individuals told other African American individuals I was blacker than they. I've never defended my word. I'm not like, it's a word to me. It's a word like any other, and like you can use it at your own discretion.
Okay.
Every word.
No, here's the thing, right? Like, again, I grew up in Chicago. I am having to now currently fight myself in a position to, when I meet that similar vibe, for it to not naturally come out, because that's what I grew up with. right? That's kind of the bit because it's but like I had to recognize as an MC, it's not about what I say, it's about how I say it, right? And I had to recognize if me saying that can possibly hurt one person, then I have to be conscious about it, right? Until we have that universal stamp and it's done and we good. And this is a whole comedy bit, bro. This is a whole comedy bit that I have.
At this point in my life, I actively try. Now, for very, very many years, it was just part of my vernacular. So it slips up. But no, but exactly what you described is how I try not, like, I mean, because
we
of how
have
other
to actually
people,
try not to
because
say
of
it.
other people's offense to it, I try not to. Because, I mean, like, I can't, if I can come up with, like, there's a million other words that represent the same thing I'm trying to represent. So let me just use one of those words. But I mean, like, but my true feeling is, I really think, because I believe words are just things human beings created, and they, like, if I say a word you don't know, guess what? You have zero reaction to it.
So,
meaning the word itself does have no power.
All right.
It only gives the power that you and I give the word.
Now, you want to hear, like, do you want to? I'm never gonna be a politician. I just want to start. I just want to preface before I go into this. I'll never be a politician. All right. I have my most raciest bit, right, and which involves the N-word, right? It's my most raciest bit.
I don't even know what.
I've yet to say it. I've yet to say it.
That's why it's hilarious that I'm laughing.
I know. I've yet to say it. I've yet to say it on like a comedy thing, right? But again, like this is one of those things where I think I found the solution to give the official universal card to our people. And so I believe that all
No, I can't wait to hear this, but I got one.
I believe, we'll see. I believe that all Asian and Middle Eastern and Indian Americans should pay an extra tax called the reparations tax. And we pay into the reparations of Black Americans whose family have like pretty much gone through like realms of slavery and criminal injustice and all that. We, as the Asian Americans, the Asian, Indian, American, Middle Eastern,
the brown division of
the brown
Asians.
one. Like if the yellows do not want to jump in, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. But it would be great to get your help. All right.
I feel that I would appreciate their help,
even
but
though,
I get it.
Even though,
I got all my.
Even though the
all
reparations were not at fault of our people,
Right.
we pay into it. The only thing that we ask for, just let us say it. just let us say it. Just let us say it. And let me tell you this. Here's the bonus, right? You're getting what you deserve. You're getting what you deserve. And, you know, what are you creating? What do the people who gave that term to you that you took ownership, what are the people getting? What do those people hate more than anything? Non-inclusion. And you give it to a high density melanin-based population with similar history.
What I'm about to say fits in exactly what you're saying because, again, I've never had to defend myself. Like, I've never defended myself using this particular word. One such friend, rest in peace to Dalen Gaffney. I have a lot of very close Black friends apparently passed away. None of which is my influence.
I'm not laughing. I don't know why.
None of which is my influence in the past.
I wasn't trying to laugh.
However,
I'm not laughing at the expense of your Black friends. I swear to God.
No, I get it.
But you pointed out the fact
I'm
that,
not
like,
offended.
what, he was just another Black guy?
He is a Black individual that did pass away. That was one of my close friends.
I am sorry.
But at one juncture, someone questioned his responsibility in my using the word, right? And
his response, like, because okay.
Why do you allow him to use the word? And he was like,
Wait, who's asking that?
somebody, another Black person was asking Dalen,
Oh,
my buddy,
Okay,
why
okay.
he would allow. He was like,
okay.
shit. He's like, India ain't nothing but 2 strokes away from Africa. He said, ain't nothing but 2 strokes
Oh, you win.
from Africa.
You win. Yes, absolutely, you win.
I was like, it's 2 strokes.
Blue Label Johnny and his boy, right there.
It's 2 strokes.
That. I hate to ask this question.
I don't think you do.
I know I'm going to. I do feel a little bit bad, but I want to take that bit with me now, and especially it feels okay.
Oh, no.
Since your boy is no longer
No.
here.
I mean, like, I would, but that's, to me, that would be the, like,
that's
homage.
I'm taking that.
That's like,
that. You're
you can
absolutely
take that-
right, bro. That is so.
Because guess what? And
that
like,
guy, your boy, had
I'm
it.
45 years old. That sentiment, which is absolutely true, I have not seen, like, because in our own culture, like, dude, this individual himself, like, he came to me one time. I came to pick up some food from a family member, right? He was in the car with me. Before day's end, my family had called me. Who was this boy that was in your? What? He's 2 shades away from my color. How can you possibly have a problem that I'm hanging out with him? Like, your only reasons for thinking there's something wrong with him is because you've listened to another ethnicity that has a problem with his color.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but like our parents lived off literally the stigma that's been given to them, right? You know, so
I mean, but like the definition of that is like, my mom was a nurse. That's the reason why I'm even in this. I was born in this country. Like, she had a negative stereotype of certain ethnicities. But guess who the most prevalent people, who were good people she worked with?
Yeah.
But her outstanding opinion of the race existed beyond
the
her
person, the individual,
everyday
right?
experience.
The individual is like, you know,
I used to come to work
because they're not getting to know them.
I used
The
to, like,
outstanding
I didn't show up
population.
to my mom's work often, but like, you know, every year or two in between, like, just to come to do something. And those women used to shower me with like love, like. So how could her opinion of the race be bad, other than listening to the broad opinion of people?
Take a breath. Breathe.
That's just,
Breathe.
dude,
No.
It's racist face. I hate that. I hate it.
Hey, as stated in the beginning of this episode, I've only known this dude for about 72 hours.
That's crazy. But we have some shared understanding of like,
I've only known this
existence.
dude for less than 72 hours. Hey, Blue Label Johnny.
Monet.
BLJ.
I've never heard that before. I've never heard. Now, see, John. Here's the thing: is
does it feel a little dirtier now?
between the
Or not?
but, see, but the
Hey.
Baptist. Hold up, the Baptist Originals email is because my rap name was John the Baptist. Most people call me JTB.
That is definitely a sacrilegious name.
It is, but why is my name John?
What is a BLJ? You know?
But it's JTB.
You know that BLJ?
My name is John because
You know-
of John the Baptist.
Yeah.
So that is why my rap name was John the Baptist.
And because he did the rapping, he got the blow lubricating job. You know?
I don't know what that
BLJ.
means. See, again,
that was a late hit.
until this,
That was a late
until
hit.
this moment, I've never heard anyone say BLJ.
Air it up, BLJ.
Yeah, that acronym ain't as fire as JTB. That, I gotta admit, that's,
you are actually in the right
I
realm.
never put my Johnny.
Yeah. Look at the process. You've seen the process of disappointment, and he's like, "Fuck."
That's fire. I still Blue Label Johnny, but
Blue Label John, but
BLJ is not. That sounds like a president who got like, you know, what happens to presidents when they kick you out? What's that process called? That
are you talking about? Now I'm fucking blanking.
exactly, because I'm a little high and drunk. So, but BLJ sounds like a president.
Aborted. They're aborted out
No,
of presidency.
not aborted. That is not.
Yeah. Expelled.
That's not
They're
the word,
ex-
but that's close enough. BLJ sounds like a president who got expelled for
They're
like some kind
emancipated.
of fraudulent.
They're emancipated out of
I'm
presidency.
done with you. Stop. It's obviously time to
You asked for answers.
It's obviously time
You
to
asked for answers. You asked for answers.
Oh, Lord.
All right, here we go. Listen, I promise you guys, if you even slightly had even half as much entertainment out of this episode as we did, you got everything. But before we close out, because we're about to hit this mark, I got to ask you to end this episode, last phrase or word or whatever, and you got about 60 seconds. Go.
So, if nothing else, remember that Blue Label Johnny cares if don't nobody else care. And remember this, and if you don't remember anything else in life, the streets won't love you like I will. Gone.
Okay.
You could do it all.
You can't.
Do it all, baby.